Good afternoon, Brett.
Howdy.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
If anybody wants to come by and see Brett and tell him happy birthday in person, we are going to be here at the Uptown Rail Brewery and Ice Cream Parlor and
Sip,
pizza.
savor, and socialize.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do.
That's exactly
we're
what we're
going to
gonna
sip, savor, and socialize.
Socialize, yeah. Even if it's just you and me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need anybody to help do that.
No.
So
We figured that out over the last 2 hours.
it's fair.
Plus, 7 years.
I love our new tablecloth. I know that people have seen it on the pregame show, but it looks phenomenal.
It does.
on
This is the
this
first time I've actually
particular
looked at it on screen. It looks really good.
It looks great. It's a perfect setup right
Thanks
here.
to Dawn at Stitching and More for
Yes.
hooking us up with that.
Absolutely. She is amazing. If you need any assistance in Sanger gear, she can assist with that for sure.
And not only can she assist with it, she has a lot of stuff that's just readily available. You just walk in and it's ready to go.
Absolutely.
But she can also customize anything. If you have an idea, she
True
can come
statement.
up with it. She can make it happen.
True statement. Very good point, Mr. Brett. So, this is new. We are doing a weekly happy hour show. So we have a raffle, a holiday raffle that we've been doing, and we posted it on our social media page a couple times. And a couple people have said, "Hey, I don't Venmo, I don't Cash App, I don't do any of those things," and I would be glad to purchase some raffle tickets from you in person. So we want to do some of these little road shows, so to speak,
For the next couple months.
Yeah. So we have 8 weeks left to sell raffle tickets for our raffle.
We accept everything just short of a smile.
Yep.
Cash,
Check.
credit card. We can
Cash
take
App.
credit. We have the access to take credit cards.
Yep. And so that's part of the reason why we're here is to try to sell more tickets for our raffle, which is a fundraiser that the proceeds will go to benefit scholarships for upcoming graduates of Sanger High School. This year we will for sure give away a minimum of $10,000 in scholarships for the 25-26 graduating class. We gave away $5,000 in scholarships last year, and we're doubling that.
That was our goal at the end of last year. Is I
Correct.
came to you and said, "Hey, what do we want to do next year?" And you said, "Hey, we did 5,000 this year," and you looked me square in the eye with so much confidence and said, "Let's double it." And I was like, "Oh, David, let's reel that fish in just a little bit." But you know what? I'm with you. I'm with you. I think doubling it is a good goal, and we're well on our way to doubling it.
I agree. We've done a really good job, and I think that the community has helped us do
Agreed.
that, right? Like we don't take credit from that. We are the organizer or the middleman, so to speak, but it's the community investing back in the students via scholarships or via sponsorships, rather, and then we turn that into sponsorships that we give back to the athletes that are that we have used a third-party committee, not me and you, to become worthy of those best athlete and second best athlete of the year.
And to add to that is the third-party committee that we asked. We'll just go ahead and tell y'all it was Grant Bowles with the First Baptist Church.
Yep.
He put together the committee on his own, and he excluded himself from voting because he's very well endowed in the community, and he didn't want it to be an unfair process. So
Correct.
He put the committee together himself, and they did a phenomenal job. And there's not anybody that I would disagree with on what they chose.
Agreed.
And we're looking forward to the same thing this year.
Yep.
They're just gonna have a little bit better task because I feel that we're adding 3 scholarships this year. I think
that's what it was.
I think it's 3 scholarships this year, and one of them is going to be a $1,000 scholarship to an audio video student.
Yep.
Because they do help us out tremendously on all the home games.
Yeah, and you guys will get a example of that if you tune in tomorrow night for the volleyball broadcast on the, I think it's called Indian Productions on YouTube.
I believe that's correct.
And so you'll hear me and Brett commentating during the broadcast, but you will see the result of what you're seeing from an audio video standpoint is all the hard work of the audio video department, and they do a phenomenal job, not only with what you see from an output standpoint, from a video standpoint, but they're doing all the production behind the scenes. For volleyball games, we have, I know you haven't been there with them, but we have instant replay. We have sponsors that, local sponsors that they've filmed commercials for, like going into some of the local businesses. It's called Shop Local.
Okay.
Or Support Local, I think, is their segment. And they play those a couple times a game. And I don't even know if any of the local businesses have paid for that. I don't know how that part worked. I don't know if they just did it for experience or if they maybe donations or something like that. But they go around to some of the little shops like in town where you can go in and buy stuff.
Yeah.
And they filmed little segments that they show on commercials, and that's all done and produced by the audio video production team at the school, which is a class of students. It's not employees other than Mr. Rowe leading them.
Yeah.
And they've done a phenomenal job. Happy birthday to the legend, Brett Bumpus from Cy Campbell. So
Thank you, Cy.
keep the birthday wishes coming. We appreciate that. I know Brett does. I've only told everybody I've seen today in person that it's his birthday, even though he's not like that. But he would be doing the same thing to me if it was vice versa.
To me, it's just another day.
We're in agreement on that. You and I are the same on that.
Yeah.
But it is kind for people to want to come up and say hello and tell us their well wishes for your birthday, and we appreciate that. You're 39 years old?
Yes.
Again?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I will throw this out there to my lovely wife, and I feel like that she's a little bit, not mad, but heartbroken for the fact that I'm very difficult to buy for because if I want something, I just go get it.
Correct.
And she's like, "What do you want for your birthday? What do you want?" And I don't want presents. I want presents, like what we talked about earlier. I just want her presents. And I want my kids present, and that's what makes me happy is doing, not opening gifts. And so if you're listening, babe, I apologize if I'm difficult to buy for, but you being in my life is more than enough for me.
Very well said. Very well said. So, part of what we're going to be doing when we do these shows, we're probably going to do. I don't want to commit to every Monday because it's going to depend on a lot of mine and your schedule.
Correct.
But we're going to do them a lot of the next several Mondays as we continue to wind down football season, as we continue to wind down volleyball season, as we get ready to enter basketball and talk about previews for those sports as well. We'll probably continue to do those shows, do these shows for that. So. I think you could consistently expect us to be somewhere on most Mondays at 4 o'clock. Maybe it'll be here at Uptown. Maybe it'll be at another local business.
And some days it may be 5 o'clock or it may be 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Depending upon what we can swing.
Exactly.
Especially as we, like you said, when we get closer to basketball and your youth football schedule opens up just a little bit.
Yep. So, but we will try. Like I did a post last night that said what's on tap or whatever it said. I don't know how I worded it, but basically what was on the agenda this week for Stanger Sports Corner. And I previewed the fact that we'd be here today at 4 o'clock. Tomorrow we're doing the volleyball broadcast. Thursday morning we'll have a coach's show. Friday afternoon we'll do a pregame show for the football game. And then, of course, we'll be on air with the audio-video team doing the football game as well. So just expect that for the foreseeable future. At least over the next 8 weeks we'll be somewhere trying to help sell some extra raffle tickets. If you have not seen the post for the raffle tickets, we'll share the post again right now so you can go to our page and see it and have all the information, because I know it's still new information for some people.
The exact details of it we cannot share on Facebook because of what we are raffling off.
Correct.
But just
feel free to text us.
Feel free to text us.
I'll put it in the comments.
Send us a private message. We would just say that we are raffling off 30 pew-pews in 30 days, one per day for 30 straight days. Basically, these things launch projectiles a lot faster than you can throw them. That's the best way I think I could describe it. So we are only selling a maximum of 300 tickets. They are $100 per ticket, and when you win or if your name is drawn, you win that particular item for that day, and then your name does go back in that drawing. So one ticket gets you possible of 30 drawings.
395?
5818.
5818?
5818, yep.
There you go.
Yep.
You can text us and we'll send you the details as well. I will post what we can post on our page now because we have it saved as a fancy.
And the link that David is going to share does have a QR code for our Venmo, but if you are here in person, we also will take cash. We are capable of accepting credit cards right now.
Cash App.
Or, we can barter.
Yeah. You have something to trade? I'm sure we could figure it out. I don't need a vacuum cleaner or anything.
I don't know either. Yeah, I don't.
We have to understand the value of what you're trading.
Yeah, I don't need a vacuum.
I don't know if we can trade friendship.
No.
I don't think we'll take friendship as payment.
No.
We have plenty of friends.
I can't trade vacuum, dishwasher, or anything that had to do with laundry, because that's why I got married.
I started laughing before
You
the
know
punchline
where
came
we're
because
going. Leonard said we could. Leonard said we could trade barbecue. Hey, I'm for that.
Now that we
I
could talk
trade
about
some
Leonard.
barbecue.
We could talk about that, buddy.
especially Leonard's barbecue.
Absolutely.
But
Shout out to Pepper Belly Barbecue.
But yeah, this now granted, we 100% of the proceeds coming from this raffle will go back, like David said, will go back into scholarship opportunities for the students.
Yeah, and we want to make sure that we're clear about this. We're very transparent in everything we do. Some of the funds that were raised from this raffle will fund 2025, 2026 graduating class scholarships. Some of it may be rolled over for next year's scholarship to get us started. To have that, to be able to be confident in what we say we're donating the following year, a lot of that has to do with what we have already raised from a previous school year, because it's not the calendar year that we're really looking at, because some of these things will be raised in calendar year 25 but given away in 26, and we want to make sure that we're very transparent about that. We raised some of the funds that are going towards the $10,000 scholarship that we have this year were raised in the 2024, 2025 school year, and we rolled it into this year, and vice versa. So we just don't want to run the Sanger Sports Corner funds dry at any given time, because we do have some monthly upkeep costs, like our Wi-Fi or hotspot cost is a monthly cost. And then we upgrade equipment here and there, like something breaks down or wears out, and we use some of those funds to update our equipment. But what me and Brett want to stay as the certainty here is there's never a time where Brett or I are pulling funds out of here.
No,
we have other sources of income for our employment, or other sources of employment for our income that provides for our daily needs and lives, and that's what pays for that. This money strictly goes to either scholarships or upgrades to equipment to bring your viewer and listener experience to a better circumstance. That's so anytime that we spent money, like for example, everything you're looking at here, with the exception of the camera and the tripod that the camera's on, the mixer, this headphone jockey box, whatever you call that, I don't think that's a technical term.
it's a
Monitor. Well, the monitor actually was already on.
that's yours, yeah.
But the hardware that we're using, plus the software that's inside the hardware, was all purchased in the last 60 days, probably 30 days, really.
Yeah, probably 30, 45 days, yeah.
So we do that to make sure that we're bringing the best possible experience to our viewers and listeners, and that's what we will continue to do. So we're not in this for ourselves. We enjoy doing
David and
this.
I have created a new career for the community.
Yeah. Somebody will have to take this over eventually.
Yes.
Maybe it's Dax. Maybe he'll want to do something else. I don't know. He's done a great job when he's helped us to the current moment, but he may have other aspirations by the time he's done with his college and whatever career field he goes into. Maybe he's not even in Sanger by the time. I mean, that'd break his mom's heart, but you never know.
I don't even know that she's going to be in Sanger by the time he graduates.
But I mean, he gets back from college. Mom might not be here. But one way or the other, the tradition that we've started will continue on. That's part of what mine and Brett's goals are. We will do it for a while.
Well, I'm going to do this as long as my family life will allow it.
Correct.
That's how I look at it.
I agree with that.
And to quote Coach Rogers, now that we've started, we can't stop.
Right.
It's expected.
Yep.
And we're great with that. We absolutely love the fact that the community supports us and depends on us to give them scores and updates and things like that.
I have people that ask me every single week, are we broadcasting the JV and freshman game, because we spoiled them when we did it for the scrimmages.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, our time is spread pretty thin.
Yeah.
Brett gives back to other things that y'all are not aware of. I mean, he gives back to, it's called Project Graduation, which means that but all the money raised from concession stand sales.
Concession stands and the
middle school
daddy-daughter
games.
dance.
Yeah, the daddy-daughter dance, middle school games. And daddy-daughter dance, middle school games, and high school games. Not high school games, but it is high school. Freshman and JV.
Freshman, JV, and middle school. Yep.
The concession stands that are the sales that are raised that sold there, those funds go towards Project Graduation.
Yes.
And I think it's fair opportunity to talk about Project Graduation now.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you want to? I'll let you. I'm not an expert when it comes to that. So
if a lot of people may see the threads and comments and stuff about Project Graduation. Project Graduation is what we call a safe alternative for graduation night. So the night the students graduate, we host a big event that I'll just flat out just tell you, we rent out the entire facility for Andy B's. The kids get unlimited bowling, food, laser tag, video games, everything they want from the time after they graduate. We lock them in from 11 to 3 a.m., 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. And then I believe each year, Jenny and I took it over. I think this is our third year in a row of running Project Graduation. And each year we've increased the amount that we spend. So not only do we rent out the entire facility, we buy $12,000 to $14,000 worth of gifts.
That's amazing.
And gift cards to give away to the students. You know, things like, you know, TVs, mini fridges, things that they can take with them, whether they're going to college or whether they're going to start their new career. There's things that they can go with. And every single year, every kid goes away with something, whether it's a $25 gift card or it's one of the grand prizes that they can win in the drawings. And that's what that money goes to for Project Graduation. So anybody anytime that you buy something at the concession stand on a Tuesday or Thursday night on the home side, that money goes directly towards Project Graduation.
Nice.
Daddy-daughter dance, that money goes directly towards Project Graduation. And it's very rewarding. It's a fun night, and we look forward to it every single year.
That's amazing. Y'all do a good job, and you've been a part of this for a little while now, because you've had seniors almost every class for I don't know how long, and will continue to.
2 years ago we had Gabe. Last year we had Presley. This year we have Jace. We have one off year, which is going to be next year, and then we'll have Keegan, and then the next year we'll have Caleb.
Yeah, it never stops, right?
Yeah. Well, it's going to.
I mean, it's going to eventually,
Yeah.
but in the next few years, you get a break next year, right?
Yes.
And that's it. So,
but you know, back to the Project Graduation. That is just one of the many things, and my wife, I got to give her a lot of credit because she does handle Project Graduation very well. Everything that we do for Project Graduation, it's all just titles. Whether you're a president or vice president, it's a team effort, and Jenny puts in a lot of time in organizing everything, and I just basically just ask her where I'm supposed to be.
sounds like a smart husband.
Yeah.
Sounds like a smart husband to me. So that's awesome. So I'm glad we were able to talk about that because I think there's a lot of things that are done very well in this community, and that being one of them. You guys have led that since I've become knowledgeable about what Project Graduation was. Y'all been involved. And so I think you do a great job doing that. I think there's a lot of other community support. I don't want to ignore the other community members because you have volunteers that help step up and work in the concession stand.
We do.
And it's usually senior parents, right? Like that's who you seek out.
It's mostly senior parents, but we also do the honor society students that need hours. They come in there and they volunteer their time and they work their little tails off, and we sign off on them. And I'm, being the sap that I am when it comes to kids, if they've been there for 4 hours and 15 minutes, I might bump it up to a full 5 hours just to, because
they worked hard.
They worked hard, and they earn it, and they deserve it. They deserve the recognition. So
that's good.
And when we talk about Project Graduation, saying the safe alternative, it keeps the kids from graduating high school and then going out and making dumb decisions on the night that they graduate just because, quote, I don't go to school anymore.
Right.
It is a safe alternative to keep the kids together. They ride the bus. They come to the school. They get on the school bus together.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah. That is one of our very strict rules. Is if you show up to Project Graduation and you were not on the bus, we don't let you in the door because we don't know where you've been from the time that you graduated until you show up. And since it's a safe alternative, we don't want kids to go out and make bad decisions, whether it be drinking or whatever they want to go do. They graduate. They come back to the high school. They get on the bus, and we take them to Project Graduation.
Nice. Very cool. I did not know that element.
That's the whole purpose. It's just to keep them safe and let them have a good time as, graduated students.
Great job.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How long have y'all been doing Project Graduation from that standpoint as far as having an alternative place for them to go celebrate?
It's not anything new for Sanger.
Okay, so it's been going on
It's been going on a pretty good while. We believe that we took it over. It was Amber Lewis that ran it before we did. She had Logan and Colby right before us. And I can't.
And they did something similar. They did Andy B's or somewhat different.
They did Andy B's. Before Andy B's opened, I believe that they were going to main event in Louisville.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's been an
Andy B's gave us a closer alternative.
Yeah, it's been an ongoing thing. And even still, I believe the last year that Amber Lewis ran it, there was still money left over in the account. And so they actually, the kids that wanted to go, they actually took them up to the WinStar Casino and gave every kid that wanted to go, they gave them a $100 bill, and they took them to the WinStar Casino and let them, have a little bit of fun as an adult.
Right.
And I think that's great because you're either going to be responsible with your money or you're not. Some kids might.
Somebody might have pocketed it
took
and went
that
home.
$100 bill and went home.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So it's funds that we have set aside just for the kids.
I would have taken it and put it on black to see if I could double it. That's just me.
I would have put it on red, but there's another story behind that. But I'll just tell the quick story. We were up at WinStar. This is
People think the odds are 50-50, but it's quite not.
No, it's not.
The 0 and the double zero make it not quite 50-50.
We were at WinStar. This is probably about a year and a half ago. And you know how they show you, what's hit recently. And it was red, black, red, black, red. And I told her, I said, it's going to hit black. Has to. It's hit red way too many times.
Right, it's due.
It's due. And it went red. And that was the fastest $500 I think I've ever spent in my life.
You saw red.
Then I saw red, and she said, let's go. I said, no, you got money left. Don't let me have your money.
It's really due now.
I think you owe me rent for this month, babe.
That's funny. That's funny. So part of what we want to do when we do these shows is kind of recap the week that was when it comes to Sanger athletics, right? Yep. So if we go back to last Tuesday, the girls volleyball team went out and swept Gainesville in 3 straight sets. And I will do a little bit of a commentary here. We want to thank Hall Real Estate and Dawn Hall Construction for being our official volleyball sponsor, really the sponsor of all things high school volleyball. So we're very appreciative of Drew. He's on for the 3rd season in a row, and we appreciate him. And in that process, one of the things we do is we have a player of the game.
Yes.
And so our player of the game for Tuesday was Blakely Pennington. She had a phenomenal game. She led the team in kills.
Young one.
And she's a freshman.
Yep.
And still has several years ahead of her. And she's on a very good squad, very young team. They only have 2 seniors. So I know they still have high expectations for this year. When you go on further in the week, I know they lost in 3 straight sets to Aubrey, but all 3 sets were very close games. I talked to one of the parents that was at the games, and it was a heartbreaking game, apparently. I'm still waiting on the official recap from Coach Montgomery, and I may have it in my email. I don't know. I haven't checked in the last few hours. But the point being is Aubrey and Salina are 2 volleyball powerhouses in our district that our girls have to compete with. And they went out and played a very close contested match. I'm sure they gave Aubrey all they could handle. Aubrey came out on top in 3 straight sets. But it's my understanding they all went to the brink. I didn't see the final score counts yet. But we will have a full volleyball recap once we get all the information. It's tough because those games end on Friday night, and the coaches have their weekend, and then we're back at school teaching classes today. So eventually I know Coach Montgomery will get me that information, and I'll put the recap out there so everybody can see it. And we'll have a player of the game from Friday as well. But 1-1. In their matches, their district matches last week, with a win versus Gainesville and a loss versus Aubrey. And they have Lake Dallas tomorrow night, which we will be broadcasting.
Yes.
So that should be fun. It's an opportunity for us to both experience that. I got to do the broadcast a couple weeks ago when they played Salina, and because you were out of town for parent weekend at MSU. So I'm excited about doing the broadcast tomorrow with you, so you can get to see all the little new different toys, so to speak, we have from a broadcasting standpoint. We have the opportunity to use now and see what the audio-video team is doing firsthand when it comes to their production team and how everything interacts from the gym, from the main gym to their production team office, which is in their classroom. It's just phenomenal.
And a big shout out to Sean Rowe.
Yes,
who is doing a phenomenal job over there with the audio-video department. I'm assuming, this is just me assuming, when they come to him with the new high school and says, what do you need? He shot for the moon.
He did.
He shot for the moon, and he said, it'd be nice to have this, and the school came through with it. And the students have got some phenomenal equipment now, and I haven't seen it, but you were telling me about it, that their classroom is like a true Monday Night Football broadcast strip.
That's the way I picture it. Like, if you're, when they show you, and it's not necessarily Monday Night Football, because you see it on Sunday Night Football and other productions. They don't seem to show it on the daytime games on Sundays, but Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, they'll show their crew, inside their production office or bus or whatever it is, and there's multiple rows of chairs with people talking. And I've seen it in movies that talk about characters that have roles in those same positions. But you have somebody producing the team. It says camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4. Somebody manning instant replay. Like there's a person that has a role in everything. There's a good 8 or 9 students in there.
Well, there's probably also at least 4 or 5 cameramen alone.
Correct.
Because of all the different angles that they have.
And they have one remote camera, which is phenomenal. It's on the far visitor wall, and they can run that by remote control. But there's still a camera person running that remote control.
Yeah.
And that's done from the control room. So, but one of the kudos that I have there is when we did that Friday game against Atlanta, it's not a day they're in school.
Yeah.
Those kids are coming in on Friday evening to help broadcast a game that is on their off day.
Yeah.
Like they're out of school. So they're getting valuable experience and giving up a day that they could be out doing something with friends.
Anything
or
that they want to do outside of school.
But they're doing this instead, and I think it's a great alternative for some of the things that kids could be out there doing. And I think it's kudos to our school district for putting this together. Mr. Rowe for leading that program, like you said, shoot for the moon. He got a lot of what he asked for. He may have asked for more. I don't know. But what he got is phenomenal.
Yes,
like
I agree.
I'm excited about what he's gotten. I think it's going to be fun volleyball broadcast season, obviously, thanks to Drew Hall Real Estate or Hall Real Estate and Don Hall Construction. But also thank you to Mr. Rowe and his team because I think that's going to like transcend what we do in basketball season.
Oh, agreed. Like basketball. Remember the fiasco that we've dealt with basketball, trying to keep up with this. Well, we spent ungodly amounts of money trying to upgrade equipment, just trying to keep up. The girls' basketball, and I think I got it. There's no offense to girls' basketball, but
we just doing random claps.
No, it was a gnat.
I know, I was just messing with you.
But boys' basketball is a lot faster. It's a lot faster, and trying to get Jenny to go like this with the camera. So we bought that little gimbal to move back and forth, and still, sometimes it's just not fast enough. So I'm super excited about this new equipment that they have, and that's being able to broadcast. And not only that, broadcasting the basketball games without having to take our own equipment up there.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. The elevator is nice. Is nice, but the unpacking, setting up, and then packing back up before and after games, with all the equipment that's already there, I can't wait for basketball season. Not to take away from football, because I'm still very stoked about football.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't want to end one season before the next because life already goes fast enough.
Yes.
But I am excited about what that broadcast opportunity has, and it's my understanding from a conversation I had today is that we are going to have eventually that same experience with football. Is that they're going to have the ability to be back in the classroom doing the production part of our football broadcast as well, which I think will improve a little bit of our experience when it comes to a football element as well.
Well, and not only that, it opens up a whole other area of space in the broadcast booth right now, whereas, there's certain games where, we ran into this Friday night in Bonham when one of the other team, or I guess the radio broadcast group had said, well, I can't believe they let these guys in here, but because we don't ever get invited into the booth. And nothing against us. It wasn't directed necessarily at us, but now they have room. If they can make this happen, they have room in the broadcast booth for other teams to be able to broadcast. Am I missing something? Oh, that's hilarious.
Anyways, we digress. I missed what you last said because I was so distracted by what was going on in the background.
I was just saying that if they can make that happen, that it opens up a whole other section in the broadcast booth for the opposing teams.
Yes, because we heard complaints in Bonham.
And it wasn't a complaint directed at us, but
come on.
You're good. It wasn't a complaint directed at us. It was more of a complaint directed at the organizers. I guess we'll put it that way, the organizers.
Yeah.
So because they've been to other visiting, or they've gone visiting other
They've
towns.
not always been well receptive.
Yeah, and they haven't been very receptive, so they've set up in the stands, and we've set up in the stands, and I love broadcasting from the stands.
When we went to community, I had a blast.
We get the ambience of the actual crowd sitting around us. You get the background of the sounds. I love sitting in the stands. Don't get me wrong. This time of year, I like the air conditioner in the booth. I do like that.
But once the sun went down when we were in bottom, I would have been happy in the top row of the stands.
Yeah.
Especially that particular environment. I mean, my son getting to go in.
At halftime, when we opened up the window and we set that up there, I didn't feel a difference. Yeah.
It was a good night. So that's the recap for volleyball. They did a great job. So one thing that we don't spend a ton of time on Sanger Sports Corner.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Cross country.
Cross country. Went out and dominated.
They've been dominating
Friday.
All school year
They
long.
have, and I want to pull up this.
And it's not just like the varsity boys or the varsity girls. It's across the board.
It is.
It's varsity boys, girls, JV boys, girls. I mean, they have been phenomenal.
So here, oh, that's the wrong one. I need to go find the one to me and you. There we go. So on Friday, the cross country team went out and competed in the. It wasn't the district meet, right? It was just a meet.
No, this district is
coming up.
It's next week. Last week, they were at Salina.
At just the regular Salina meet.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of good quality teams in that meet. And they were able to go in there, and Vera Huey placed first place overall in the individuals. The girls overall for varsity were fourth. The boys were first. JV girls third. JV boys first.
Mm-hmm.
So the boys went out and executed and got first in varsity and JV in that meet. The girls got fourth and third, and Farrah Huey overall got first place, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at cross-country runners, there's a lot of fast times.
There is.
Every year the times get faster and faster. If you set your goal to be as fast as whoever won state last year in cross-country, so to speak,
mm-hmm.
you're going to be behind the times because the time's going to get a little faster.
It's getting faster and faster every year. And we have a son that runs cross-country as a freshman, and you and I talked about this earlier. When in cross-country, you're competing. It's hundreds of students out there, but as long as you mainly just compete to yourself, you're going to do better. We tell him all the time, you're not competing against all these other 100 kids. You're just trying to PR. Your biggest competition is
golf.
yourself.
It's like golf.
You're just trying to get better.
Beat your own score.
Beat your own score, 100%. And coaches have figured out a way. So my sweet wife, I keep bringing her up, but gets up at 5 o'clock every single morning to get Caleb to cross country practice every single morning, and they run and they run and they run, and then they're running. I guess they 5Ks right now for high school, but there's certain days of the week that those kids are out there running 8 miles a day, and it's just he'll come home and he'll say today was our hard day, which means I know that he ran 8 miles. When you're training for 8 miles to be in a competition that's a 5K. Mm-hmm. You're doing something. You're going well beyond. So kudos to the coach and staff that has got these kids prepared. I think that we've got a pretty good team, and we've got probably more than one or two that's going to go to state in cross country.
Yeah, when it comes down to our cross country coaches, and you know what, I don't want to limit it to them. All of our coaches.
Yeah. Yes.
Boys sports, girls sports, it doesn't matter. I'm super enthused about the future for Sanger Athletics when it comes to where we're at from a young athlete standpoint,
mm-hmm.
where we're at from a coaching standpoint. I feel like all these coaches are in it for the right reason. They want to better the program. They want to make these athletes better. We have athletes that want to be there and want to be coachable.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you get that, we talked about this off air earlier, that feeling of entitlement
mm-hmm.
that some towns athletes get.
Right.
And I don't feel our athletes have that. I think our athletes want to work. They want to get better.
I can name one. It rhymes with Race Raxon. He may or may not think he's God's gift to football.
I mean, he's had a great start to the season. So
I have to remind him every once in a while there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. There's a difference. It's a fine line, but there's a difference.
Yep, I agree with that.
So love the kid to death because he is good. He is really good.
Yep, I agree. And so I think that time will tell if this pays off, but I just feel really, really good about our coaches. I love what girls athletics have been doing for a significant amount of years now.
It's nice to see the boys catching up.
It is, because girls athletics have been what it's been about the last several years. As far as the teams that have had the success in Sanger for the last, since I've had Sanger sports relevance. I moved here in 2013, probably started getting a little bit acclimated with what's going on in athletics around 2016, 2017. The teams to watch as far as who went to regionals and who went deep into the playoffs for any particular sport, it was girls athletics.
Girls.
From volleyball to basketball to softball, going to state a couple years ago, and we happened to be on that ride. And now football's primed to be set up
Making their way.
To have a good run this year themselves. I feel very confident in what they can do this year. Basketball made a record-breaking run when it comes to what Sanger boys basketball has done. Hadn't been done since 1977. You weren't born yet, were you?
I was born in 77, September 77, so.
Okay, so I think it was, but I think they did it in the 76-77 season.
Oh, then yeah.
They would have been before you were born.
Yeah. I was just a thought in my dad's mind.
Yeah, and so just to see that type of success generationally changed, because you know what? Those kids that were on that basketball team, they could have had the mindset that said, it's never been done for in Sanger, we're not going to do it.
Right.
Why aren't we going to go out there and try?
But
we're going to be two rounds deep and fail.
But I give a lot of that credit to Coach Sykes, like specifically Coach Sykes, because it's not just, she's not just involved in just what she has to do as far as just the high school audience. She's the girls athletic director. She started, as the assistant coach for girls basketball, then had head coach, and then Coach Hilliard took over, and they moved her to the girls' athletics coordinator. Yeah, thank you. But she's been involved from me as a personal level, so this is why I know that I've seen it, because she's involved in the youth on the girls' side also. She's watching these young kids. She knows who's coming up through the programs to prep them for basketball, and Coach Hilliard for that matter has done the same thing. They're involved in the youth. They see them coming up, and now we're seeing the same thing with Coach Rogers and his staff on the football side. Super involved in the youth. Everything's going on. You communicate with him almost
daily,
probably almost as much as his wife does, as far as like what's going on in youth.
Yep.
And that just goes to show that they're here for more than just a paycheck to say I'm a coach. They're here to better these programs, better the youth, better the students, everything that they can to make everything about Sanger a better place to be.
Agreed. No, very well said. I think there's a lot of exciting things going on. So we talked about volleyball, we've talked about cross country, and so now we talk about football, right? Am I missing any other sports from last week? Okay.
I don't think so.
And to be fair to the audience out there, I don't have all the information when it comes to how the JV teams and freshman teams have fared. I have what I have. I'm not trying to leave any middle school teams out. I'm not trying to leave any particular program within Sanger Athletics out. So don't ever think that we're only shading.
We didn't talk about the Indian hacky sack team, did we?
So we try to highlight as many of the programs as we have, but we're going to miss some. So I want all of our listeners and our fans to understand that we do our best, but when it comes back down to the end of the day, we are volunteers. We don't make anything from this from a personal standpoint, and we do our best, and we're going to try to remember to highlight every possible sport that we can. But we can't be all things to everybody. I work really hard to try to get the band recaps out there. I'm still going to work with Mr. Smith to get a recap of this past weekend's competition and post that on our page. We try to get as much information from Coach Sykes about cross country and other sports to make sure that we can tell it when we're on air. She will send us updates when she knows we're on air, like during a football game. She'll send us a message and let us know how volleyball fared, how cross country did, like she did on Friday night, and we mentioned that during the broadcast. But there are going to be things, especially when it comes to the younger sub-varsity teams, that we miss. And it's not because it's not by design. We just don't have the information. So that being said,
like I said, with that being said, and I guess we could start reaching out to the middle school coaches and things like that, or Coach Rogers, see if we can start getting some more middle school information. But to back up what you're saying is we call ourselves Sanger Sports Corner, but it's not necessarily just about sports.
Right.
It's just the student athletes or students in general. Like coming back to what you said about band
Band.
and stuff like that, yeah.
Yep.
Because we do have a phenomenal band. The band is so good this year. Band's always been good.
Yep.
I love watching our band. Absolutely love it.
So I wanted to call out here. So like I'm not at every JV game, and part of that is because I have a son that plays on a freshman team, and there's been multiple occasions this year where a freshman game has been in a different location than the JV game, because the opponent we have for JV, which is always the JV opponents. If you don't know how this works, in 4A football doesn't work this way necessarily when you get to the smaller classes, especially 3A, 2A.
I'm glad you're bringing this up.
But for 4A football, whoever you play for varsity, the JV team plays the same team. We only have one JV team in Sanger. We don't have a JV A and a JV B like some towns do. We didn't have that type of level of participation. We have record participation when it comes to football. So I don't want to knock what we're doing from participation level because we have record numbers. But when it comes to JV teams, we have one JV team, one freshman team, one varsity team. So the JV team will play the same opponent as varsity every week without fail. That doesn't change. If the varsity is at home, then the JV's on the road. If the varsity's on the road, then the JV's at home. That alternates. That's a tradition. Now, can there be an exception to that in some years? Yeah, there could be. There could be a situation where a team that we're playing against, grades hit, and they got massacred from a grade standpoint, and don't have enough kids to field a JV or freshman team. It's not been known to happen since I've been around the Sanger program that's impacted us, but I have heard of other parents that have told me that's happened in their town. So I do know it does happen, and they only have a varsity team that week. But in recent years, at a 4A school where you have an abundance of participation, it has not happened in recent memory. So this past week, the JV team played Bonham at home. The varsity played Bonham at Bonham on Friday night. On Thursday, when the freshman team plays, we've known since the get-go that Bonham was not going to have a freshman team. So originally, we were going to be going to a town out east of us on 380, and they weren't able to field a freshman team due to grades have hit. And they had to move freshmen that did make grades up to their JV, and in subsequent manner, probably some kids that had been making grades in varsity didn't make grades, and they had to replace some of those kids on varsity with kids on JV. So it becomes a backfill situation. Right. And so when that happens, you're deplenished at that level, and now you can't play some games. So you alert your opponent, hey, sorry, but I no longer have a freshman team. I can't play your freshman team this week, and Coach Rogers has to make alternative means to do that. Coach Rogers does a phenomenal job with that. He works diligently to get us an opponent for every single grade that has a team. I know that because he keeps me in the loop along the way, because he knows people might ask me questions, just simply because those kids were in youth not that long ago. And so this past week, we didn't have a freshman team or a freshman game for a moment, and then he worked hard, worked with Coach Ivy, and got us a freshman opponent. Aubrey's freshman B team came here and played our freshman team. He does not always split up his teams into two teams. Coach Ivy, that is, with Aubrey. Sometimes they all go to the same destination. They were playing Silver Springs. He felt like it was a week that he could have that opportunity to split up into two teams. He graciously did so. We are very appreciative of that fact. And so Coach Rogers, knowing that he was playing Bonham, a team that is not to our caliber quite yet, and they're working to get there. They have a great young coach that I think they have big things in their future.
And they're a small school playing in a big division.
There are 20 students inside of 4A Division II. When the next set of alignment comes out, they might be back down to 3A.
I agree.
So him knowing that, he strategically moved some kids around to get some kids an opportunity to play varsity. This past Friday night, there was 5 or 6 kids that got to move up and play varsity. Most of them from the JV, and Cruz, my son, happened to be the kid that was chosen to come up and play quarterback from the freshman team. And so that deplenished a little bit of the JV team. So then there was a handful of kids, 3 or 4, I think 4 exactly, that were moved up from the freshman team to the JV team to replace the kids that moved up from JV. A couple of linemen, a couple of skill kids, a linebacker, I think. And it worked seemingly for us. The freshman team was still very competitive against the Aubrey B team, and they won, I think, 38-0. And Coach Rogers didn't try to run up the score. His coaches, rather, he's not out there coaching that game. He's out there watching, but he's not out there trying to run up the score against those kids. He doesn't want to embarrass those kids from Aubrey. We've played against those kids, at least a lot of them, from a youth standpoint over the years between their A and their B team. And so, and then in the JV game, similar story. I mean, the score got pretty healthy pretty quickly on our side. And Coach Rogers and his coaches didn't attempt to run it up. They could have. At any given time, they could be going for two
Score
and calling trick plays and doing what they want, but they didn't. They ran their basic offense and didn't try to do anything out of the ordinary to put up a big number, because all you're doing is hurting those kids on the other side, and nobody wants to see that. We've been on the other side of that.
Yeah, we've been on both sides. You know, we've talked about, you and I have talked about this, you know, and especially in the Bonham situation in the varsity game last week, you know, we almost scoring it. Well, I feel it was at the first 3 or 4 drives.
First 3 drives were 2 plays, 2 plays, 2 plays.
2 plays, 2 plays, you know, 1 play, run, 1 play, score, 1 play. It's just, and we probably could have done that all night long. But as
we chose not to.
Chose not to because for multiple reasons. One, like Coach Rogers did the right thing by getting the players in that don't get a whole lot of playing time. He did bring some like you said, some underclassmen up, and they played. They got some good play time. And there's still a lot of, there's 22 seniors, I believe, this year. And but you don't play all 22 seniors at the same time. So there's going to be some seniors that don't get a whole lot of play time. The games against the teams like Bonham, that's where you get your play time. That's where you get some more experience. That's where you get your younger players' experience.
Yep.
And you don't run up the score on them. And we'll touch on that here in a minute when we hit the highlights for the Bonham game. But at the same time, we were, I want to say it was 42 or 46-0 at halftime against Bonham, and we probably could have hung
for varsity.
Yes,
49-0.
Yeah, and we probably could have hung 100 points on them that night. But what does that do to the Bonham kids? When they're in a place where they're trying to grow a program, you don't want to demoralize them.
You don't want them to quit and never come back.
And not want them to come back. You want them to enjoy the game. And I felt like that's what we did, and we'll highlight that here in just a second, because there's a proven fact of that when you look at the box score of what happened on Friday night.
So on Thursday night, the results: freshman team won 34-0 over Aubrey, JV won 46-0 over Bonham, and then when we got to Friday night, Sanger went away with it, as we kind of thought might happen. But you can't. I mean, you can plan for that, but then it might not happen. They might show up better than you expect, or you don't show up. And but after the first 3 drives, being 2 plays, 2 plays, 2 plays, and Bonham pretty much being 3 and out on their first 3 drives, Coach Rogers saw what he saw, and he planned for this particular moment, and he got other kids in the game. Other kids had touches that are already on the varsity team early in the second quarter that don't normally get as many touches as they did. He got his backup quarterback in, his 14-year-old freshman backup quarterback in.
Came in before halftime.
3 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, came in before halftime.
And led the team down on a scoring drive that was, again, 2 plays. And they were both run plays. It's not like we're trying to throw the ball and just throwing go routes every single time.
Or trick plays or anything.
Right. He did the right thing. He absolutely did the right thing. And when you look at it from I'm trying to find our recap real quick to be able to.
Well, I have the box score right here just to back us up. In the first quarter, Sanger put up 28 points. Bonham was 0. Second quarter, Sanger put up 21 points. Bonham 0. The third quarter, Sanger scored 7. Fourth quarter, Sanger scored 7. That, to me, that is not giving up. That is doing the right thing of letting your players play. And because the third and fourth quarter could have easily looked like the second and first quarter.
Absolutely, it could have.
But
that wasn't the goal.
But what good does that do? You and Coach Rogers mentioned time and time again that iron sharpens iron. You're not benefiting your starters by having them out there.
Right.
That's the time that you benefit your second team.
Your less experienced
kids. Get them in there. Get them some experience. Let them know what it's like to play varsity football.
That's also sometimes you might find a diamond in the rough in those situations.
Yeah, I think his name was Aiden Burkeen.
I'm telling you what, he had a great game.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns. One of them was called back from a hole, but that one was about 60 yards where he was just
he still
running
had even
over
after
people.
Take away the penalties. He was the second leading rusher in the game.
Yeah.
Reggie Jones obviously had 7 carries, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aiden Burkeen had 5 carries, 65 yards, and 1 touchdown. But if you would, like you said, if he gets that other touchdown that's called back from a penalty, he probably has another 50 yards. He's
Yeah.
another 100-yard rusher
Yeah.
and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and leaving Reggie in the game does you no good.
What if he gets hurt?
What if he gets hurt? Yeah, it actually could hurt you. And I agree with everything that happened Friday night. It was picture perfect. You get a comfortable lead and you pull your starters. You get your inexperienced players in there to get some experience, and you prevent injuries.
Yep. 100% in agreement. All right, so when we look at some of the other stat leaders here from Friday night's game, again, Indians came away victorious 63-6. Not that that's a surprise, because I think everybody by now would have seen that. And so the stat leaders passing, Reed Sebastian was another 9-for-9 perfect night. He had a game earlier in the season where he was 8-for-8. He played less than a half and was 9-for-9 passing.
And these weren't little deep passes. These were not just little dump and goes.
Well, let's just see what that is at. 193 divided by 9. He averaged 21 yards per reception. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So he's 9-for-9, 193 yards, 4 touchdowns. Cruz York came in a backup quarterback situation, was 2-for-3, 27 yards. We won't talk about the drop. He should have been 3-for-3. Oh, did I just talk about it?
No, I didn't hear anything.
All right. From a rushing standpoint, I just mentioned this, but good to mention again, Reggie Jones in a half of play, 7 carries, 134 yards. Project that over a full game. He's 14 carries for 268 yards.
And that would have been 3 straight games of Reggie being over 200 yards rushing in a game. One of them against the 3-time defending state champion.
Yep. And Aiden Brackeen, 5 carries, 65 yards. Christian Bush got an opportunity to carry the ball a couple times.
Christian Bush has had a heck of a game. Not just rushing the ball.
He was in on several tackles and big hits.
Oh, my gosh.
He had the hit of the game.
I thought that kid, I was waiting for an ambulance to show up. That kid, he hit him so hard as a freshman. That dude.
All the kids were talking about that after the game.
Really?
The players were talking about that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Austin Martin walked by me as Christian was walking by, and he looked at me, he goes, "Oh, baby Bush ain't much of a baby anymore, is he?" Because we watched him grow up since he was this big. You know, he's always been baby Bush to us because he's the younger brother of Stephen Bush.
Yeah.
Stephen
was a legend here.
Nobody ever knew him as Christian Bush. Everybody always knew him as baby Bush or Stephen's little brother.
Yep. And there's another one behind him as a freshman named Tyson Bush, and another one behind that.
And Christian's already making a name for himself.
He is. So he had officially 2 carries, 27 yards, and a touchdown. Bola had 2 carries, 21 yards, and a touchdown. So, again, the ball was sprinkled around everywhere to a lot of different weapons. Yep. From a receiving standpoint, our House of Carts player of the game was Levi Hendricks, 3 catches, 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I put this in the recapping his player of the game stats. But his 60-yarder is the longest play from scrimmage for the Indians this season.
Nice.
So I thought it was longest pass play. I went back later. It's the longest run or pass play from scrimmage.
Yeah,
this
I
season.
would have thought that Reggie would have had a 65-yarder.
I thought he did too, but he had one in the 50-something.
I feel like he did, and it might have got called back. So.
Maybe. And so and then Wyatt Pennington, another solid performance, 3 catches, 62 yards.
Wyatt Pennington, another one having a phenomenal year.
Yep.
And he's in the talks with us every single week of the
player of the game.
He
really is.
Absolutely.
Austin Martin, another one that you cannot ignore. 2 catches, 23 yards, and a touchdown. He got us on the board with the first touchdown, I believe. And then Joel Rodriguez, 1 catch for 25 yards, a very quiet 1 catch, 25 yards. But here's the thing, what Joel does. He's the guy they're doubling or always got their eye on in any particular formation. Yeah. And that allows people like Wyatt and Levi to be open.
The weapons that the Sanger offense has is insane because just like you said, if one person's having a hell of a game, you double them up, but then it opens up Levi or it opens up Wyatt or it opens up Joel. Whoever's getting doubled, somebody's going to be open. The weapons that this offense has, we were literally scoring at will.
The second ever pass from Cruz York was caught by Jordan Gonzalez for his 1 catch and 15 yards. Cruz's first ever pass was caught by Jonas Autry, one of our neighbors, 1 catch for 12 yards. And in the trenches, can't ignore these guys. They did a phenomenal job. Through and through, the offensive line has been there for us all season. We've had some monumental moments when it comes to the amount of rushing yards we've had as a team, and you can't do it without these guys. In the trenches, the offensive line anchored the offensive explosion, grading out at 86% as a unit. Captain Alex Zuniga paced the group with a 95% grade from a blocking standpoint, while Zane Garcia graded at 90% and added 2 knockdown blocks and a pancake. The defense was dominated, limited limiting Bonham to their lowest play total of the season. Max Taylor and J.J. Micas each tallied 7 tackles to lead the unit, with Taylor adding 3 tackles for loss and a forced fumble recovered by Des Sampson. I mean,
And I'm going to add one in there that's not in your another interception by Jace Jackson.
yep,
That is 5 straight games with a turnover forced by Jace Jackson, whether it be interception. He's 4 interceptions on the year, and 2 fumble recoveries. One of those fumble recoveries went 70 yards for a touchdown.
that's phenomenal.
It's
that's
just
good stuff.
But I'm going to take you back a whole other section, back to the offensive line. I feel like that we give them a lot of credit. I don't know that we can ever give them enough credit. It's hard to give a player of the game to the entire offensive line. We have done it before.
We have.
And
Doesn't mean we won't do it again.
And it doesn't mean we won't do it again. But to see like a Zane Garcia in second place behind their grade at 90% in second place is insane. That's awesome. Because without this
behind the unanimous captain of Alex Zuniga,
100%.
by the way.
And because without this offensive line, you don't see these stats from Reggie. You don't see these stats from Reed. You don't see these stats from any offensive player because the offensive line is doing their job. And I don't know if you remember this, but you and me, I believe it was Zach Thompson and maybe Jace and Luke at the end of last school year when we did a breakdown of the schedule coming up this year, and we all thought, what was the strengths, what was the weaknesses, and I'll be flat out honest with you. I said that one of the strengths or one of the weaknesses I thought was going to be the offensive line. And I'm glad to say that they have definitely proven me wrong because they have been dominant.
They've been great.
They just, I don't see how you don't have a 100-yard game behind this offensive line the way that they're playing right now as a running back.
Yeah. I think if you're just getting carries, you're getting an opportunity to be a 100-yard rusher at this point.
Yeah.
So that brings us to who our House of Cards player of the game was for this past weekend. So we want to thank Trey Harden at House of Cards. Thank you very much, Trey, for being on board. This is, again, from him personally, it's a third year straight as well. So thank you.
Yeah.
His first Trader Bros, and then he left and started his own thing, went to House of Cards, and became on board last year as House of Cards official sponsor of football. And this year he's back on board and has multiple things coming down the road as well. This is the player of the game for football is just the beginning of his sponsorship contributions for this season.
Not to take that away, but like Trey seeks us out. He's like,
he does.
You tell me what you need.
Yep.
And we're like, well, I could use a new Lamborghini, but no, Trey has been phenomenal.
He gives you the Lamborghini of golf carts instead.
Yeah. True story.
So our player of the game this week was Levi Hendricks. So Levi, again, had the longest play from scrimmage this season for Sanger Indian at 60 yards with a 60-yard catch. Was the second touchdown of the night for the Indians, the second 2-play drive of the night for the Indians. And so very deserving. He's had a great season as well.
He has.
But one of the things that I'm most excited about is when you look at the gauntlet of the players that have gotten our House of Cards player of the game this year.
I haven't seen that one yet. That's awesome.
I know. I haven't posted this yet. This is brand new just now. Top 2 are our 2 defensive players that made player of the game. The bottom 3 are all from the offensive side of the ball. And you know what? Jace could have been any one of these because he's had big plays in all 5 games. But you could make an argument every week for Reggie Bush. You could make an argument this past week for Reed Sebastian.
Could easily be in any of those 5 spots.
And so, but the diversity of the fact that we've had 5 different kids win player of the game this year, and usually, I'm not saying you couldn't mix in other kids in the argument for that week, but usually it's clear cut. Like whoever actually got it, they deserved it. You know what I mean? And so I hope we see this by the end of the season. We have 2 of these pictures up there to show the number of different kids that stepped up and made plays that particular week. I
agree.
Because we have a lot of weapons that have not gotten player of the week yet. You look at Max Taylor from a defensive side of defensive side of the ball, Creedon Burner from a defensive side of the ball, Wyatt Pennington, who you've already mentioned, the offensive line, Joel Rodriguez, the offensive line. I mean, there's weapons for Des Sampson from a defensive standpoint. At any given time, he might be able to make a play that goes.
There's so many weapons. And what I love so much about this player of the game thing, and it's kind of I guess, pardon my French, it's kind of a kick in the ass sometimes. But when we post it, there have been more than one occasion where I will get a random text message, and I'm not going to name names,
Sure.
because it has been multiple people,
Yeah.
that said I disagree with
Sure.
the player of the game because he had this, and I'm like, I love it. I
Creates
absolutely
conversation.
love it because it creates conversation. People are paying attention, and people are supporting these kids, and we're like, my response is, yeah, but if you look at this from this standpoint, and this standpoint, and this standpoint. And they'll be like, yeah, but look at this standpoint, this standpoint, this standpoint. There's so many different standpoints. They don't understand that you and I don't have an easy task when it comes to picking the player of the game.
No.
I'm almost at the point where now there was 1 week, I don't remember if it was week 1 or week 2, where we literally were going to flip a coin. We didn't know what to do.
We could put it out for a vote, but then it might become a popularity contest.
So here's what I suggest. If we get in a situation like that again, House of Cards sponsors it.
Yeah. He's unbiased.
He's very unbiased. We
send him all the information.
We send the stats. We send it to Trey. Hey, man, you
Trey
sponsor
be glad
this.
to do it.
You pick your player of the game, brother.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I promise you, he'd be. It might be 10 o'clock at night before you hear from him, because I promise you won't hear from him before 10 a.m.
He's a busy man.
That's a busy man.
Speaking of a busy man, he's walking in the door right now.
Yeah, he is. Mr. Blake Lemons.
Hi, Blake. Blake Lemons with the Sanger newspaper just walked in. We said hello to him. He's been doing a phenomenal job pubbing Sanger Sports Corner, probably before we even realized it.
Yep.
But he's been making sure everybody's aware of the fact that they can find the link for the broadcast for all of the games, whether it's home or away, on our Facebook page or our YouTube page. So we're very thankful for that. He's also been publicizing the player of the game summaries that we've been putting out there. So that's phenomenal. We appreciate him. He does a lot of tireless work for the community when it comes to the Sanger newspaper. I think he's here right now with a bunch of copies of the sports edition.
Papers,
I think it's a sports edition version of what he's doing.
And to his defense, you know as well as I do, in today's age of social media and how fast you can find stuff on the internet, there's not a lot of money to be made in newspapers.
No, but he still does.
He still doesn't. He's
Yep.
still out here plugging in everything he can for the community.
Yep.
Just because that's what he does.
He has some loyal subscribers that he probably still gets the paper, and he has loyal people that still buy it. I think it's free in most places, though. I don't think he even charges for the
He doesn't
paper.
have a delivery guy. He's out here doing it himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think in most instances, the only revenue he has coming in is really from the advertisers in that. So please support those local advertisers. Most of the advertisers in that paper are local businesses. Some of them also are advertisers. So make sure you support all the advertisers in that Sanger newspaper. It keeps it going. He prints out a weekly publication, if you're not familiar with it. It's usually published every Thursday. I think what he's passing out now, I think, is just the sports edition, which highlights all of the athletes from Sanger Middle School to Sanger High School for all the different sports. He does a way better job when it comes to highlighting all the sports than we do, even than we do, especially when it comes to middle school. He shows their current results. He shows their pictures, team pictures that they've been done. Steve Robinson, shout out to him.
Yeah.
He does our posters for the player of the game. He puts the mock-up together that we're able to publish on our Facebook page with our logo and our sponsor logo, whether it's volleyball or football. And then he also makes he doesn't physically make it, but he has the posters actually made that will be displayed throughout the school throughout the year during that season of sport. Like right now, the first 3 football players, because I don't think Jace had been named yet, are on display when you walk into the field house. And they'll stay there throughout the season until we have how many ever players of the game.
Yep.
Hopefully 16 players of the games.
Yeah.
That would be phenomenal. And we will be set, you know what I mean? So that's exciting stuff. It's a good place to be right now. As if you're not in Sanger USA, it's a good place to be. Now we'll talk a little bit about the week ahead. We haven't gotten there yet. We still have a little bit of time before I have to roll. So when we come to, let me find my schedules. That's not what I wanted. All right. So I know that when it comes to this week, the Lady Indians play volleyball tomorrow night, because we're going to broadcast the game on. It's the last game of the month, Lake Dallas. It's middle school night, so all the middle school teams will be recognized tomorrow. The sub-varsity teams tomorrow night play at, lost my place here, play at 5 o'clock, and the varsity goes off at 6 o'clock. So please be there to support the young athletes for Sanger Middle School. It'll be middle school night for the volleyball teams from the middle school. So 7th and 8th grade will be recognized, and then we'll be broadcasting. If you can't attend in person, we'll be broadcasting along with from Indian Productions on YouTube. channel. We'll share the link on our YouTube or on our Facebook page, but it's on the school's YouTube channel. And then on Friday, the Lady Indians take on Panther Creek here at home. They were at Panther Creek the last time they played Panther Creek, so this time it's at home. Then when it comes to varsity football, let me get this one. Sorry, the middle school volleyball. So tonight, the Indians are in Sanger versus Van Alstyne at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So already started in one scenario there. 7A started at 5 o'clock, and 7B goes at 6. 8A at 6 o'clock, 8B at 5 o'clock. So 8B and 7A are playing right now in Sanger. I believe that is at what is now the Sanger Middle School, used to be Sanger High School. So you can go support those ladies tonight. And then they have middle school night tomorrow night for the high school varsity team. And then that is it for them this week. And then from a varsity football standpoint, varsity takes on Cattle Mills Friday here at home. The freshmen and JV travel to Cattle Mills on Thursday. The freshman game is at 5 o'clock. The JV game will be at 6:30. The middle school games are on have been canceled this week.
Yes, correct.
So Bridgeport found an opponent that was closer to them than them coming to Sanger tomorrow night to play our middle school team. So I know that he has tried to find a replacement opponent. I don't know if he's going to have the ability to find one.
I know that if anybody can, Coach Rogers can.
Correct.
But this short of a notice, it's going to be very, very difficult because we just got the notification yesterday.
Last night? This morning? Might have been this morning. Might have been last night.
I have to go back and look at my emails, but it was very, very short notice.
Correct. I mean, less than 48 hours for sure.
Yes, correct.
So that makes it difficult, but their season's not over. They have more games coming up in the coming weeks, but if you haven't already gotten that notification through SportsU or the other ways that they communicate out with the parents, there is no middle school games this week. And I think in that text message that I read earlier from Coach Sykes, I think that she told me some. I thought I knew something about upcoming meets, but maybe I don't. I don't think it's in that text.
Cross Country District is.
That's right.
It's
when is that?
Next Thursday. I know it's for the middle. I don't know. I'm sure it's middle school and high school. I'm not sure. I would assume so, but I know JV District Cross Country is October 9th.
Okay, so we got a little bit of time for that. So we'll give some more publicity to that as we get closer. The next thing I want to talk about is our upcoming games of the week in the area. So lots of exciting things happening in the area. Obviously, Cattle Mills, as we just mentioned, is coming to Sanger. Cattle Mills is 3-2. They lost to Crum 42-17 this past Friday night. They come to Sanger and take on the Indians that are also 3-2. Van Alstyne, who was on a bye for district play this past week, they started 1-2 in non-district. They had one game canceled due to weather. They're coming to Crum. Crum is undefeated, 4-0, and coming off their big win
Very
versus
impressive
Cattle
win
Mills.
against Cattle Mills.
Absolutely,
Very
agreed.
impressive.
And then the Bonham Warriors in a battle of winless teams is going to Gainesville to take on the Gainesville
You and I
Leopards.
did have a conversation that could have possibly been the game of the week, and not
Somebody's got to win.
Not in a joking manner, but just like you said,
It should be an evenly matched up
it's
game.
very evenly matched. Both teams are winless right now, but somebody's going to come away with a win, and it's going to be a moral boost for both teams.
Unlike the Cowboys game last night.
Correct. Yes. How is it that the NFL ends in a tie?
NFL gets paid the most, yet they don't want their players to play long enough to find a winner. College doesn't end in a tie. High school in Texas doesn't end in a tie. Even in youth football, for us, it doesn't end in a tie. Like we have an overtime system that will be played until somebody wins.
So real quick, if anybody with the NFL Players Association is listening, David has actually you have a phenomenal plan.
I think they should go similar to hockey or soccer. They should have a kickoff. You play your 10-minute overtime period. If you're still tied, you rotate kickers. No other players out there. Nobody gets hurt. No snap, no hold, no defensive rushers, no offensive linemen blocking, and you rotate 45-yard field goals. If you both make, you go to the 50 and do 50-yard field goals, 55-yard field goals, 60-yard field goals until somebody misses. And it eventually will happen. You don't give them points for every single one of those because
No.
that'll impact Vegas and all the other things that go on.
The only one that
when it
matters
comes
is
to
the
betting.
winning kick.
The winning kick gets 3 more points added to their score, and they're the winner.
Yep.
That's it.
I love it.
And nobody gets easy solve.
And nobody gets hurt.
No.
Unless you
The
pull
kicker's
a
leg's a
hamstring.
little tired, a little longer.
Yeah.
My goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I think he'll survive.
Yeah. But that's
He gets paid a good salary.
That's what they get paid for.
Yeah. So that brings us through. The third game.
Yep.
That's what I was trying to see where it's at. But our game of the week, and that's why it's in red on this list. So the blue games, of course, are our other district games that happen in our district. The purple game is always the Sanger game of the week, or our game of that week. Blue games are our district games. The red game is our game of the week. And our game of the week is between 2 undefeated teams. It'll be played in Denton. I'm pretty sure probably at C.H. Collins Field on Friday night at 7 p.m.
Powerhouses.
Yeah, Aledo Bearcats coming to Denton Ryan, both in the same district now, playing in district play to see who can remain undefeated and take the early lead in that district.
It's 2 powerhouses with 2 teams that are deep in history of state championships.
Yep. Aledo grew really fast. They used to be a lot smaller. I mean, I remember when they're 2A, 3A days, and they've now grown to a 6A school, as has Denton Ryan, and that's going to be an interesting matchup this week. Another really good matchup is the Vernon Lions. They're 4-1, but their only loss is to Paradise. Paradise is ranked in the top 10. And it was a very close game. I think 28-27 or something like that. It was a couple-point game that Paradise was able to come out victorious against in Vernon in a district matchup to open up district play last week. And now Vernon travels to Ponder, who won in last-second fashion of their own with a 47-yard
field goal
high school football
high
kick.
school.
It's impressive.
Awesome.
Hickman was the name of the kicker, I believe.
You and I were as we're broadcasting the Sanger game, we're keeping an eye on the Ponder score because we knew it was a close game.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there watching it, and I keep refreshing and refreshing and refreshing.
Our game was over so early. I think it was on the drive home. I was driving and you were refreshing.
And I kept hitting refresh, and all of a sudden I'm looking at you and said, "Oh, it's over. Ponder won."
Yeah. We didn't know how until we saw the highlight later.
But we knew, obviously, we knew it was a field goal because we saw the score.
32-29.
But a 47-yard field goal to
that
win
kind
a
of
game.
Pressure.
Yes.
There's NFL kickers that get fired from missing that kick.
Yes.
And he made it. So
Yeah.
kudos to Hickman.
At
Great
Ponder.
kick. Great job. Great job by the coaching staff having faith in him to make that kick. They remain undefeated as another area team that's undefeated. The Everman Bulldogs 1-4 go to Argyle and take on the Argyle Eagles that are 3-1. That might, I mean, on paper that looks like a tough matchup for Everman because Argyle is perennially really, really good. Formerly in our district not that long ago, and now they're a big 5A school. Salina Bobcats, another traditional matchup, going to Aubrey Chaparrals. I'm pulling there for Coach Ivy and hope they can pull out an upset there. But I feel like the odd makers are probably in Salina's favor there. Then the Pilot Point Bearcats.
Your alma mater.
I know 4-1, only lost to Lindsay, and Lindsay's a pretty good team right now. They're headed to Palmer to take on a 5-0 Bulldog team. And then last but not least on our games of the week, Whitesboro Bearcats 2-2 headed to Oak Cliff, take on the Lions at 3-2, Life Oak Cliff. So another good matchup. So those last 3 games are at 7:30, everything else at 7 p.m. And we'll be updating those scores throughout our broadcast on Friday night, as well as post-game. We will come back in and tell you, we'll post this same exact document you see here, showing you what the final scores are for each game. So those are our games of the week. We pick out 9. We had lunch earlier and picked out these 9 games as our games of the week. It's usually games tied to the area or tied to our district that we look at. And those are the 9 games we came up with.
Yep.
So somebody asked me that last week, how do we choose our games of the week? And I was like, well, we kind of look and see what's going on in the area and see what makes sense to us.
Yeah, and there probably really are some better games in the area, or not necessarily the area, but maybe in the state. But it's this is what we see locally. We're not going to see stuff from West Texas and South Texas and stuff like that. And most of the time, it doesn't pertain to us. And no disrespect to those teams or coaches, but a lot of these games that are on here, they can affect us one way or another.
Especially in our district.
Yep. Yes.
So I think as we get a little bit closer towards the season end, when we kind of see where we're jockeying for district position potentially for playoffs, I think it might be a good idea to look at that other district. I think it's District 6 in our region that we will play against and by district out of the hat in playoffs to see where their teams are ending up. It might be a good idea to look at some of those district games when we get to, say, when we have a 10-week season, we're in week 6, we get to weeks 8, 9, and 10. Maybe that's a good idea for us to look at districts, games in their district, because teams like Sunnyvale are over there in those districts and other teams of that caliber. And I mean, eventually we're going to have to play. I'm blanking on the state champion, Carthage. And they are stout.
The road to state goes through Carthage,
Yep.
and Carthage is a football powerhouse. Not just currently; it's been years.
Yep.
Those guys live and breathe football.
Yep. So again, a shout out to some of our sponsors. We want to thank Michael Berner at Cap Plumbing. He helped sponsor our pregame show, our halftime stats update, and our postgame stats. I know this is not necessarily a show related to that, but we want to give them a huge shout out to I know, our camera person for game days for Cap Plumbing there. We appreciate them. I know I gave a shout out to House of Carts earlier, but want to thank them again. Thanks Trey Harden, House of Carts, for sponsoring our football player of the game. He's also the title sponsor for girls basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, big thank you to Drew Hall from Hall Real Estate as Don Hall Construction. Has done a phenomenal job being on board with us for the 3rd year in a row. We appreciate him as well.
And one that you don't have up there,
Yep.
I'm going to interrupt you real quick, but if you can add it real quick, I want to give a big shout out to Kelly Saul.
Gotcha.
We have some stuff in the works. We're not going to announce it because
we're working on some particulars still.
We're getting through all the details right now, but we came up with an idea, and we pitched it to Michael Kelly with Kelly Saul, and
No hesitation.
And his response was, "I don't care. Just tell me how much you need." And
He also loved the idea.
he did. Yeah, he
does love
he did love the idea. But Michael Kelly is all about giving back to the kids. It doesn't matter if they're 4 or 40.
Yep. And I did have a good conversation with our partner on this, which is the school district, today. And they're going to look at some of the I's that need to be dotted and some of the T's that need to be crossed and figure out logistically how we go about making it work and not upsetting the apple cart, so to speak. And then hopefully by then, once we know all that process, we can announce it and do it in the before football season's over is when this will take place.
Yes.
If you're curious about the timeline about what it is, we're going to leave everything else kind of unsaid at this point. But we want to. The main point of this is a shout out to Michael Kelly and everything he does for us. He does not do this for publicity of Kelly Saul. It's just really his way of giving back to the community.
If he was watching this, I'm surprised he's not watching it right now. Otherwise, one of us would get a text message and say, "Why are y'all talking about me? Are you checking your phone just to see?"
Yeah. I had a text from Corey that includes Michael on the text, I think. So I was like, what's going on? Well, cool story. I have football practice, Corey, so thanks for that.
but big shout out to Michael Kelly because it was almost like he was offended that we hadn't come to him yet with any type of sponsorship opportunities, and really he gives back so much to the community and to us for Sports Corner that we wanted to kind of leave him as the last option, just because if we go to him and say, "Hey, Michael, we need $10,000," he said, "Okay, who do I make the check out to?"
Right.
And
when do you need it?
Yeah, it's just that.
Speaking of that, I still have his check I need to give you for the for one last pub here. We are in the same exact spot that will be in on December 18th.
Oh, yeah, good call.
For our 2nd annual Christmas show.
Brought to you by...
You know what? Hold on, please. I can put this on here, too.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Oh, please.
I can't imagine who their sponsor is on that, and since you brought it up.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll figure it out. Let's see.
But back to Michael Kelly, he almost took offense to the fact that we haven't even called him. He just says... There was a time, it wasn't last year, I think it was the year before that, in the first year that we had broadcasted any softball games, he said, everything is blurry. It looks like crap. What do you need to make this better? So David and I were like, hey, we could use this. This would make it better. We could use this. This would make it better. And he said, I don't care what you actually need. What is it going to cost so that I can watch these games from my house?
Yeah, exactly.
So we let him know, and here we are 2 years later, still blowing and going because a lot of it is due to Michael Kelly with Kelly Saul. So we appreciate him more than he knows. There you go.
Hold, please. So we're going to, there we go. File, save a copy, browse. Where are we at? Sponsor logos. Boom. Save. New toys. This takes me a second.
This is not a new announcement, but this may be the first time that we've brought it up live with the flyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything kind of, we've been planning this for, I guess, probably since December of last year. And we needed to finalize a couple of things, but officially, here in just a half a second. David's going to pull something up for you.
It's a little squinched, but it still
It's
works.
very squinched.
Yeah, I don't understand why that. It should just be vertical, but that's fine.
Probably because it's a long flyer.
Yeah. So I'll get a different image of that for next time we share it. But basically the gist of that is we are having our second annual Christmas show right here where we're standing in Uptown Rail. They have been gracious enough to give us the evening. It's normally a karaoke night, but they're going to forego karaoke that night and let us have the reins.
Because if anybody remembers that was here last year, karaoke was sitting in the corner, like twiddling their thumbs, waiting for us to get off of the stage.
and while I do think some patrons did stay for karaoke that were here to see us. It was probably more packed than normal just because of our show. And so we appreciate our support from the community members so very much. We have several special guests that will join us that night, but the headliner is Ty Juna.
Yes.
Ty Juna will come on and play his normal set and help us with announcing our raffle ticket winners. He'll help us with the silent auction winners. He will help us potentially even with live auction items that we're going to give away. We're still working out the particulars on how that looks and how that works, but we don't want to overburden him. He has a busy task in itself, but nonetheless, mark your calendars. December 18th, we will be here starting. We'll start setting up around 5:30, I would imagine, but we go live, I think, at 6:30 is what we're saying.
Yes.
And so we will be here all evening live from Uptown Rail.
We have raffles.
Yep.
We have auctions. We're going to have a live auction and a silent auction.
We'll probably do our daily giveaway for our daily raffle, which will still be going on then. It starts November 24th and goes through December 23rd.
Yep.
We'll do our daily raffle drawing that day from here as well.
Again, all of this possible
because of Kelly
with
Saul.
the help of Kelly Saul.
Yeah. That logo is not as squinched. I can put that back up there one last time. So
Kelly Saul is not only our title sponsor, they are the only sponsor that we have for this, and we prefer it that way.
Yep.
And we appreciate it more.
Some more announcements coming that we haven't unveiled yet for that specific date.
Oh, yes.
That we're
correct.
not ready to talk about yet.
Yes.
We're waiting to find out some final details. But
when you were doing this, I was trying to figure out what you were trying to spell. Like, I don't know that word.
So some more exciting stuff coming down the pipe, but we're going to announce it a little bit at a time.
Yes.
Some of the things we have to work out with Uptown to make sure they're good with it too.
Yes.
There are some rules and regulations we got to make sure that we're good with. But some exciting things coming. We're excited to be able to tell you guys about that as well. Be some other opportunities for community members to get involved, to be able to give back is the idea. And so stay tuned for that. We'll announce that as soon as we have it finalized. And you have more than a 2-month, almost 3-month notice on that. So mark your calendars, December 18th. Come join us. One of the features, I'm going to pull this back up. I know it's hard to read, but one of the features it is really hard to see on there. I'm just going to read it from my phone. Hold, please. Let's see. Did I save this to my phone? Maybe not. Well, darn it. I'll go this way. I want to publicize.
You had to have emailed
exactly how I said it.
You had to have emailed it somewhere.
Christmas show. It's shared on our Facebook page for sure.
Yes.
But featuring your favorite MCs, Brett and Dave, music by Ty and Juna, plus some special guests to be announced closer to showtime. There was one other. Oh, it was on the actual Facebook post that I said this. I know what I'm thinking of now. I know what I'm thinking of. Here we go. It might take me a while to find this. Goodness gracious. I still want to word it like I said it. So
we need to quit being so active on Facebook, I guess. We got a lot of stuff.
Here we go. It's not that far.
There we go.
Christmas show presented by Kelly Saul featuring What Will Brett Wear This Year?
I don't know who's more excited about that, you or Coach Rogers.
I've seen it, and I'm for sure excited. We're going to keep it a secret until really close to the show, if not the day of.
I will have clothes on.
Yeah.
Not many, but.
But also music by Ty Juna, silent auction items, raffle prizes, and live auction with a couple of items that we will publicize prior to the day.
Yes.
So you know to be here. Because the live auction items, you will have to be present to win because it's a live auction. Or somebody here bidding for you, I guess.
Yes, and we will throw this out there. The two main live auction items, one of them will be a very special gift for a male.
Yep.
One of them will be a very special gift for a female.
Yep, and it's right before Christmas.
And it's right before Christmas. So if you don't quite know what your spouse may or may not want, we have the perfect item for them. I can promise you that.
Very true. Neither would be disappointed.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So, awesome. Well, I think that covers everything. It's 5:37.
Well, you got to get going. You got football practice.
Probably so. I got adulting responsibilities.
What's that?
Oh, all right. Well, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank y'all very much for listening to our happy hour show. I know it's a little different. We will let you know a little bit further in advance where we will be the next time we do one of these road shows. The plan is right now, if we can, to do again another one next Monday if we have a spot to do it. So we'll let you know as soon as possible. Thanks, Brett.
Yep.
Happy
Have a great
birthday.
day. Thank you very much. Have a great day.